All right, then let's move to the last segment of this video series, that is securing web access with certificate. So if I go back to my web browser here, whenever I am taking the access over here, you see that I do have the certificate error. So let it come back. And once you see that, if I click on that one, your connection is not secure. Okay, so if I click on more information, it will give you some general idea why. So if I click on view certificate, it will show me that it is a self-signed certificate. So what I can do is that we can configure our own. So I will just cancel this one because I do not require. So before I proceed with the certificate error removable, so I will just log off, because in the latest version of the Microsoft, uh, what do we say, Mozilla Firefox, even though you imported your certificate into the browser, still it will give you an error. So let's see later on when we are configuring. So I will close this one, close this one, close this one, and I do not require this one too. So first what I will do is that I will go ahead and I will configure the certificate authority on my Windows server. So currently I don't have any certificate authority who can issue the certificate, CA. So click on next, next. So I will select the Active Directory certificates, click on add features, click on next. Click on next, and it will ask you which services you want to install. So select certificate authority and certificate authority web enrollment. So once you select that one, it will give you the uh, internet information server features to be added in order to run those features. Select that one, click on next, and click on install. So let it complete that one, then we will configure our CA and we will we will remove that certificate error. All right, so that is been installed. So I will first go to the flag one. I think nothing to do with that one. Go to the tools and go to the certificate authority. Where is the certificate authority? Okay. Feature install, restart is pending on this one. So it's asking me to restart. Okay. Shouldn't be asking. All right, I will restart this PC and I will be back. Right, so after the restart, now you see that it is giving me option to configure my Active Directory, that is a certificate authority. So let's go to the settings. So it has the Windows update, so that's why it forced me to install those updates and configure this certificate authority. Right, so click on next and select the first option first. Then it should enable the second one too. Click on next. So this one is the enterprise CA, not a standalone, because I am in a domain. This is a domain controller and it should be an enterprise CA. So click on next. This one is a root CA. I don't have any other CAs in my. Create a new private key. Yep. Select the default option. Click on next. And if you want to change the name, you can just change the name. So you see that distinguished name and the CN name are over here. This is the whole. So if you want to add it somewhere in the domain, so this is what you're going to use over there. So click on next. And it's valid for 5 years, any certificate, that's fine. So syslog server, don't change anything, and click on configure. So click on close. So let's configure the certificate authority. You see that I do have now the option of certificate authority here. So I will just make it large. So right click on that one and go to properties, because we need to set up that one. So I will go to the extensions. On the last second one, I will remove both of them, last two of them. Click on add. I will just copy this URL link over here and I will paste it. And I will just change the DNS name. That should be cisco.com and click on OK, include CRL. So this is what it will help you to provide the revocation list for this one. So once that is been checked on, so let's go to the AI. So let's remove the last two of them and do the same thing, add and select this. Okay, so this will keep the track of the certificate serial numbers. cisco.com, click on OK, include in this one and click on apply and yes, and it should restart that service. Now click on OK. So let's go back to our server manager and I will go to tools and I will say that Internet Information Services Manager. The first thing is that when I click on my Windows PC, I will first go and check the directory which is enabled or not. So here you have the directory browsing, double click on that one, make sure that is enabled and you should see the option disable here. Next is that going back to the sites and within that site, I do have a default website and within that website, again, I will check the directory first. It has been enabled, that's fine. So now if I open the Internet Explorer and I will go to the sysable.com. Now I should see some web server running over here. Now I want this HTTP to be changed to HTTPS first. So what I can do is that I can go back to my Windows PC over here and I can select the server certificates. And within that server certificate on the right hand side, I should find the option known as create domain certificates. So here I will say that sysable.com organization will be sysable, unit will be IT, state will be TAS, provide the information. So this is the main thing which I am going to type in my browser. So click on next, select the certificate authority. That's the only one I have and say that this will be the SSL certificate for Sysable. Click on finish and now it should issue one certificate now. So one domain certificate has been issued. Let's go back to our default website and I will on the right hand side, I should see some kind of binding option. So click on add. Don't select any IP address over here. Just to change it to HTTPS and select that SSL Sysable certificate. I do not provide any host name. That should be fine. Click on OK and close. Now let's go back to our HTTPS sysable.com and now I should see that valid certificate. That means it is now secured. Let's go back to the sysable.com cert SRV. Let's access the certificate authority. Administrator with mois123 hash. So I've just added an extension /cert SRV. That's the only thing. Now if I click on request a certificate, okay, it hangs up again. So click on request certificate, click on advanced certificate request and submit a certificate request. So basically this is where we are going to paste our certificate signing request. So click on home and you should be back here. Now the first thing is that this is my enterprise root CA. That means I need to install this root CA certificate into my ISE first. So I will select download CA certificate and it should download. So hopefully it should show me that it is downloading. Okay, it's asking me for the which format you want. I will select the base 64 and click on download CA certificate and click on save so that it will be saved. So if I go back here now on my downloads, I should see the cert new. So I will rename that one. Okay. Okay, I have deleted that one. Wow. Not a problem. I will download once more and I will click the save. That's okay. I was supposed to rename that one to root CA. Now I will go back to my ISE. Okay, so what I will do, I will just go back to the ISE in the same Internet Explorer. Okay, I think this one is doesn't supports. Yeah, it does not support. So okay, I have to go back here itself. So I will select the ICE one, and it should have the login details. Login into the ICE. So first thing is that I want my ICE to trust this certificate authority. So I need to install that, import that certificate or root CA certificate into his ICE trusted certificate authority. So if I go back to the options, go back to the administration, under the system, you will find the certificates. And over here in the certificate management, you will see trusted certificates. And this is where you will click on import and you will browse that certificate. And I will give this one as a WinDC root CA. I'm going to trust it for the syslog also for the authentication, trusting and everything. So click on submit and now it should input. So now my ICE is trusting the certificate authority. That means any certificate issued by this certificate authority, ICE will give a green signal saying that, okay, I will trust you. Let's go back to this certificate signing request because I want to remove the certificate error. So click on generate certificate signing request and it should ask you some details. Now for this one, I am using only for the admin use. For the lab, if you are using for the multi-use, that's good, not a problem. But with the production, for each and everyone, if you have a separate certificates issued for them, that will be very much better. So here I will use the multi-use and I will select my ICE and FQDN. You have to be very careful with that FQDN. So I will right click on that one, open the link in the new tab so that I can show you what is the FQDN. So what's in the ICE exactly, that's the thing, that's the same FQDN should be written over there. Otherwise it will give you errors. So if I select the ICE over here, so just copy this one. That's the best option. Come back here and paste it over here. Organization, I will select as accessible. Unit IT, city will be Hobart, state will be TAS, country will be AU. Just provide the details and everything. Now, I want to select as a DNS name that should be ice1.sysable.com because whenever I enter this name, it should be valid, as well as whenever I enter the IP address, both of them should be secured. So select the default options, nothing, click on generate now. And now it will ask you to export. Click on yes. So SAN DNS must be at least one entry with correct FUDN. Okay, it should be sysable.com. Sorry. Generate. Okay, must have okay. So what I will enter the same. I don't have that ice1.sysable.com. So I think it is not resolving this one to ICE. So there is a problem with the ICE DNS server resolution. Okay, now not this one. Let me go to the party. Okay, and if I say that pingsysable.com, yeah, it is resolving, but why it is not resolving over here, sysable.com? IP address, that should be good. Okay, so click on generate. All right, so there is something issues with my DNS. I will remove that one for now and I will click on generate. So only the IP address will be included in the certificate, but not the DNS. But since there is some issues with the ICE, I am not able to add the DNS name. So once the certificate signing request has been added now, I can export that one. Once that is been exported, I can open it using Notepad. and I will copy. I will say that view format will be word wrap and everything. I will copy each and everything. Now I will go back to my certificate authority. I will go back to my home and I will say that request a certificate, advanced certificate, submit the certificate signing request, paste it over here. That's the same signing request and select the template as a web server because it's an ISE which is acting as a server. So click on submit and click on yes. And once that is been issued, select on base 64, download the certificate and click on save. So if you go back to the downloads, now you do have the new certificate. So if I rename that one, that should be ICE. So once that has been done, let's go back to the ICE now. So I can click on the certificate signing request, select this one and bind the certificate. Click on the browse and I will select the ICE and just give a name like ICE multi cert. So just remove that one. Okay, I'm going to use this certificate for admin authentication. So you see that enabling admin role for the certificate will cause application server to restart. So that should be fine. If I am doing any radius authentication like EAP authentication, a radius authentication, so all should be good. But do not use for the PX grid because for the PX grid, it's a different certificate entirely. And for the portal, if you want to use it for the portal, so if you can. But basically, almost for everything I'm using for this certificate. So if you want to validate the certificate extension, click on validate. So click on submit and click on yes. And now the certificate has a validity period longer than it may be entrusted by many browsers. Do you want to continue? As I said that the certificate validity is like 5 years. So just click on yes, that should be fine. Certificate does not contain client authentication in this one. So are you sure? Since EAP authentication, so I said that it should be a different certificate for that one. So it's missing some information. So that's why it is giving you the warning. So click on yes. So once that has been done, so it should restart the application server. So once it restart the application server, then we can remove that. So until then, what I can do is that I can go to the settings of the Microsoft Firefox because Firefox also does not trust my certificate authority. This browser also does not trust it. So what I can do is I can go back to the privacy and security and I can scroll down to view certificates. And here I can click on import and I can import the root CA. And I can say that trust this CA to identify the website and identify the users and click on OK. And now let me verify whether it has been imported or not in the S section. That should be cisco.com. You see that is been imported. So I will click on OK. So now the browser is also now trusting now. So it will restart this application server. So it might take another 15 minutes. So once that is been restarted, I will resume the video. All right. So after the application restart, it came back, but it did not remove that one. So if I click on connection not secure, more information and view certificate, and this time you see that it's properly been issued by the cisco.com. Common name is cisco, and this been issued to is1.cisco.com. So what I can do is that I can try to, as I said that I did not include the DNS name, so I will try with the IP address. So when I try with the IP address, you see that now the connection is secure since the ICE is unable to resolve the DNS. So once if the ICE was able to resolve the DNS name, it could have been much more better. So now you can see that it is the connection is now secure and the certificate is the valid one. So now this is how you will secure the web browser and make sure that it is communication between your web browser and the ICE server is secured every time. All right, so that's what with the certificate. And if I go back to the certificate authority and if I say that issued certificate, here I should see that it is been assured to issued to the ICE also. So is there any pending failed certificate templates? No. Okay, so you see that ISE1.cisco.com, the certificate has been issued. So that verifies that we see the certificate in our certificate authority also. And now once logged in, again, still the communication is secure. That means we have secured our web server. All right, I hope this was informative for you, and thank you.